Dobry wieczór. Witajcie na cotygodniowym podsumowaniu Polski i Irlandzkiej wiadomości zemne. William Murphy. It's great to be back, having been on holiday last week. We'll quickly bring you back up to speed with recent developments. Although I did discover that people in Poland enjoyed something of an early holiday as well, with the Workers' Day on May the 1st, Flag Day on May 2nd, and Constitution Day on May 3rd. Some good planning there. Let's start by catching up on one important story. On April 25th, the Polish teachers' unions announced they were suspending their strike action, which had closed thousands of schools across Poland, but warned that they could resume the action alongside other groups later in the year. ZNP union leader Sławomir Broniarz said that from April 27th, we will suspend the nationwide strike. Suspend, but not end. Prime Minister Morawiecki, we are giving you time until September. We are waiting for concrete solutions. The suspension came after the government prepared a new law which would have empowered school governors to permit exams to go ahead without the cooperation of striking teachers. The government said in response it's prepared to resume talks with the teachers' unions. The successful holding of the line in the face of the teachers' action and the running of the end-of-year school exams represents a considerable success for the Prawo i Sprawiedliwość government, especially given the action had been timed for maximum political impact. Nowości w Polsce w ubiegłym tygodniu obowiązywały. A spate of hoax bomb warnings causes disruption as 270,000 students commence end-of-year school matriculation exams. The government announces it's preparing a bill to negate compensation claims arising from World War II, and Poland celebrates its 228th Constitution Day. News developments in Ireland have included the government unveils the long-awaited national broadband plan with a price tag of up to €3 billion. Multi-party talks commence aimed at restoring power-sharing devolved government in Northern Ireland. And the Alliance Party sees surprise gains in the Northern Ireland local elections as the DUP tops the polls. Zaczynając od Polskiej wiadomości. On both Monday and Tuesday, hundreds of schools across Poland received hoax bomb threats prior to the commencement of the matriculation exams. 663 bomb threats were received on Tuesday. 122 schools had received hoax bomb alerts on Monday, according to the Central Examination Board. 270,000 candidates commenced their Matura exams on Monday. Schools were generally checked before the exams commenced, though in a number of cases the exams were slightly delayed, and in a handful of cases the exams had to be postponed. The police are investigating, and if the culprit or culprits are apprehended, they could be liable for the costs incurred by the emergency services, and also face up to 8 years imprisonment. It's a dramatic end to the school year, which of course was substantially disrupted by the teacher strike. On Tuesday, Michał Dworczyk, the head of the Prime Minister's office, said that the government is preparing a bill to protect Poland from compensation claims arising from World War II. He said the details will be announced when the Sejm holds its next meeting from May 15th to 17th. Prawo i Sprawiedliwość chairman Jarosław Kaczyński had earlier told a campaign event on Saturday that Poland has no financial responsibility for the wartime period in terms of the law and elementary morality. He also claimed that perhaps even more than €1 trillion in reparations could be owed to Poland due to damage inflicted by Nazi Germany. Prime Minister Morawiecki told the gathering that his government would find legal remedies to protect the country from claims for war damages. The President of Georgia, Salome Zurabishvili, visited Poland this week and held talks in Warszawa on Tuesday with President Andrzej Duda. The Polish President said that his country will continue to support Georgia's applications to join the European Union and NATO. The visiting Georgian leader also met the speakers of the upper and lower houses of Parliament. On Wednesday, Interior Minister Joachim Brudziński defended police who arrested an LGBT activist accused of depicting a revered religious icon with a rainbow halo. The 51-year-old woman was charged with offending religious beliefs after altered images of the Black Madonna of Częstochowa were placed in a church in Puce, central Poland. Platforma Obywatelska leader Grzegorz Stycznia called the arrest despicable and claimed that none of this would happen in a normal country. Brudzinski denounced what he termed an act of provocation and profanation of the image of the Blessed Virgin Mary. Last Friday, May 3rd, Poland marked its 228th Constitution Day, on the anniversary of the adoption of the 1791 Constitution. It was, of course, a public holiday. Both the European Union and the United States congratulated Poland on the anniversary. Speaking at ceremonies to mark the occasion, President Duda said he wanted a debate on whether to include Poland's membership of the European Union and NATO in the Constitution, a change he's in favour of. Earlier, on May 1st, Poland marked the 15th anniversary of its membership of the European Union. Jeśli chodzi o irlandzkie wiadomości. On Tuesday, the Cabinet signed off on the new National Broadband Plan, with a subsequent launch by Taoiseach Leo Varadkar and Communications Minister Richard Bruton. The decision gives preferred bidder status to the one remaining consortium led by the businessman David McCourt, and the formal contract still needs to be concluded. Controversy over his meetings with David McCourt led to the resignation of the previous Communications Minister Denis Naughton last October. The government has opted to headline the maximum figure for the state subsidy involved in delivering the scheme of just under €3 billion, although depending on certain variables, it could come in at somewhere between €2 and €3 billion. Opposition politicians have questioned the government's handling of the whole process, and in particular, the six-fold cost escalation from the original estimates. Further political heat was added to the mix on Wednesday, with the publication of government documents surrounding the decision, including explicit advice not to proceed from the Secretary-General of the Department of Public Expenditure and Reform, on the basis that the plan didn't represent good value for money. However, given the political importance of delivering broadband in rural Ireland, the opposition parties haven't directly opposed the plan either. My own thoughts are that while it's important to have essential services such as broadband as widely available as possible, we do seem to be on the road to ever increasing what the legitimate role of the state is, whether that's in the provision of housing or the provision of subsidised broadband in even the most remote areas. The government, of course, will hope to reap political dividends from the announcement, especially in rural areas, in the May 24th polls. Speaking of those polls, all parties have now stepped up their political activity, with media events and canvassing underway for the European Parliament and local government elections, as well as the regulation of the divorce referendum and the votes in Cork, Limerick and Waterford on directly elected city mayors. Fine Gael launched their European and local election campaign last Friday, and in a theme that may be unfamiliar to some Polish listeners, given a proportional representation voting system with often multiple candidates from the same party, some of the most intense battles will be intra-party. In the European Parliament elections, there have been reports of tensions between Fianna Fáil's two Ireland South candidates, Billy Kelleher and Malcolm Byrne, and between Fine Gael's Mairead McGuinness and Maria Walsh in Ireland North West. Northern Ireland has already had their local elections, with polling last Thursday and the final results emerging on Sunday. The Democratic Unionist Party remains the largest party in local government, in terms of both votes and seats won, closely followed by Sinn Féin as the dominant nationalist party. The SDLP and the Ulster Unionists, confirming the trend of recent years, both suffered losses, albeit the SDLP did have a bright spot in Derry. The big winner, an outcome not expected beforehand, was the Centre Ground Alliance Party, which describes itself as neither unionist nor nationalist. Its seats went up from 32 to 53. In what could be another indication of limited grounds for optimism that the political logjam may be broken, new cross-party talks, sponsored by the British and Irish governments, aimed at resolving the issues preventing the restoration of the power-sharing institutions, commenced on Tuesday. One of the clouds still hanging over the process is the forthcoming report on the so-called Cash for Ash affair, a report which, were to contain significant criticism of the former and putative future First Minister, Arlene Foster, would further complicate matters. On Wednesday, the Irish and British governments signed an agreement to maintain the reciprocal rights that UK and Irish citizens have availed of since Ireland left the United Kingdom post-Brexit. The Memorandum of Understanding covers areas including travel, health, education and pensions. Finally, on Wednesday, Polish soldiers who died in World War II were honoured at a ceremony in Warszawa on the 74th anniversary of VE Day, or Victory in Europe Day, marking the surrender of Nazi Germany in 1945. Tavshescu na Chinchijin, the Prasham na Kaleni, Potsam Ivanya, Sichijin o Tasame Poje. Dobranot.